What would you do if the fate of an entire nation rested on the trembling fingers of a 12-year-old girl? In a quiet suburb of Seattle, where the hum of lawnmowers and the chatter of neighborhood kids filled the air, Mia Carter was no ordinary preteen. Her world wasn't bike rides or sleepovers. It was lines of code, dark web forums, and a relentless curiosity that burned brighter than the sun. At just 12, Mia had taught herself to hack systems most adults couldn't dream of understanding. But nothing could have prepared her for the night she stumbled into a digital conspiracy that threatened to bring the United States to its knees. It was a rainy Tuesday evening, the kind where the world felt heavy and still. Mia sat cross-legged on her bedroom floor, her laptop casting a pale blue glow across her face. Her parents thought she was doing homework, but Mia was deep in a hidden server she'd found through a cryptic link on a hacker forum. The server was a labyrinth of encrypted files, each labeled with ominous names like Gridlock and Blackout Protocol. Her heart raced as she cracked the first layer of encryption, revealing a countdown timer. 48 hours until Operation Eclipse would unleash chaos. The files detailed a coordinated cyber attack on the U.S. power grid, air traffic control, and financial systems, a digital apocalypse that could paralyze the nation in minutes. Mia's fingers froze above the keyboard. She was just a kid, not even old enough to drive. Should she tell someone? Her parents? The police? But who would believe a 12-year-old claiming she'd hacked into a terrorist plot? Doubt gnawed at her, but so did a stubborn spark of defiance. She'd spent years teaching herself to code, sneaking into online communities where hackers traded secrets like baseball cards. This was her world, and she wasn't about to let it burn. For hours, Mia dug deeper, her eyes burning from the screen's glare. The attack was sophisticated, orchestrated by a group calling themselves the Void. Their code was elegant, ruthless, designed to exploit vulnerabilities in systems Mia had only read about in tech blogs. Power grids would fail, plunging cities into darkness. Planes would lose navigation, risking mid-air collisions. Banks would freeze, wiping out transactions. The scale of it made her stomach churn, but she kept going, fueled by energy drinks and a growing sense of responsibility. She wasn't just hacking for fun anymore, this was war. By dawn, Mia had mapped the attack structure. The Void planned to deploy a worm that would spread through interconnected systems, triggered by a single command from a remote server. If she could find that server, she could stop it. But time was slipping away, and her parents were starting to notice her bloodshot eyes and jittery hands. "Mia, you're not staying up all night on that computer again, are you?" her mom called from downstairs. Mia mumbled a reply, her mind racing. She needed help, but trust was a luxury she couldn't afford. That's when she remembered Leo. Leo was a 15-year-old neighbor, a quiet kid who'd once fixed her family's router when it crashed. He wasn't a hacker, but he was smart, and more importantly, he listened. Mia slipped out of her house and knocked on Leo's door, her laptop tucked under her arm. When she explained what she'd found, his eyes widened, but he didn't laugh or call her crazy. "You're serious, aren't you?" he said, his voice low. Mia nodded, showing him the countdown timer, now at 36 hours. Leo hesitated, then grabbed his own laptop. "Okay, Mia, let's do this." Together, they worked in Leo's basement, a cluttered space filled with comic books and old electronics. Mia handled the coding, her fingers flying as she wrote scripts to trace the server's location. Leo, meanwhile, researched the systems the Void targeted, pulling up public records on power grid vulnerabilities and FAA protocols. Their dynamic was electric. Mia's raw talent paired with Leo's calm logic. But as the hours ticked by, Mia hit a wall. The server's location was masked behind layers of proxies, bouncing signals across continents. She slammed her fist on the table, frustration boiling over. I'm not good enough for this, she whispered. Leo looked at her, his expression steady. You're the only one who found this, Mia. If you're not good enough, no one is. His words hit her like a jolt. She took a deep breath and dove back in, her mind sharpening. That's when she noticed something, a tiny glitch in the proxy chain, a misconfigured node in a server farm in Nevada. It was a needle in a haystack, but it was enough. Mia's heart pounded as she traced the signal, narrowing it down to an abandoned warehouse outside Las Vegas. But then came the twist. As Mia prepared to infiltrate the server, a new message popped up on her screen, encrypted but signed with the name Cypher. It wasn't from the Void, it was from someone inside their ranks, a rogue hacker who'd been watching Mia's movements. You're an over-your-head kid, the message read. But I can help. Meet me in the server's back door at 3 a.m. Mia's stomach dropped. Was Cypher a trap? A traitor? Or her only chance? Leo urged her to ignore it, but Mia's gut told her to take the risk. If I don't, we might run out of time, she said. At 3 a.m., Mia connected to the back door, her heart in her throat. Cypher was there, a shadowy presence in the digital void. To her shock, Cypher wasn't a hardened criminal, but a former NSA analyst who'd been forced out for exposing corruption. The Void recruited me, but I couldn't let this happen, Cypher typed. They shared a backdoor key to the server, but warned her, once you're in, there's no going back. They'll know it was you. Mia didn't hesitate. With Cypher's key, she breached the server, her code racing against the countdown now at 12 hours. The final hours were a blur. Mia and Leo worked in tandem, disabling the worm's triggers while Cypher fed them intel from inside the Void. Every keystroke felt like defusing a bomb. One wrong move, and the attack could launch early. Sweat dripped down Mia's face as she rewrote lines of malicious code, her mind stretched to its limit. Leo kept her grounded, reminding her to breathe, to focus. At 4:59 a.m., with the countdown at 60 seconds, Mia uploaded the final patch. The timer stopped. The worm was dead. Exhausted, Mia collapsed in her chair, tears streaming down her face. Leo hugged her, his own hand shaking. They'd done it. But the victory was bittersweet. Cypher vanished, leaving a final message. You're a hero, kid. But stay sharp, they'll come for you. Mia knew the truth. The Void would hunt her, and her life would never be the same. She'd exposed herself as a target, a 12-year-old who'd outsmarted a terrorist network. In the days that followed, the world remained blissfully unaware. No headlines screamed of a thwarted cyber attack. No one knew Mia's name. But in her quiet bedroom, she felt a shift. She wasn't just a kid anymore. She'd stared into the abyss and won, not for fame, but because it was right. Leo, now her closest ally, promised to keep her secret. Together, they'd face whatever came next. Mia closed her laptop, the screen's glow fading to black. Outside, the rain had stopped, and a sliver of sunlight broke through the clouds. She smiled, knowing that courage didn't care about age. Sometimes the smallest hands could hold the weight of the world.